So Maynard, you contemplating the next Pause edition?
Just thinking what we could develop that would attract or be more affordable for more people, potentially.
Yeah, that would be a really good thing. Something a lot of people have said they love the Pause units, and it is one of the best trailers in all of America, premium, top tier. But a lot of people have been asking, can you make something, you know, for
at a better price point, a little bit more.
Yeah, a little bit price. No, not everybody needs, you know, the best of the best and all the bells and whistles, right?
Well, when we were developing the original Pause, you know, we looked for the best of the best material to put everything together.
Yeah.
The premium, we weren't really worried about any of the costing. And it's an awesome unit.
Yeah.
And we will continue to build it.
Yeah.
And further develop it and take it to the next level. But we wanted to produce something that would be able to maybe just a little bit more affordable for people.
Yeah.
So they don't have to miss out on this awesome experience that we've already had today.
Yeah. Well, here we are down in Moab. And as you can see, we now have the all new Pause by Palomino. And this is the Reboot edition. So a quick question, Reboot,
right.
The Reboot edition. I had somebody reach out and said, oh, so are you guys getting rid of all the old Pauses? Or like, are you redoing them all or something?
Absolutely. It ties in with our name, same as Pause. It's with the technology. I mean, our unit is one of the most technology advanced units on the market. So the name ties in with that technology. So like Pause, you're hitting the pause on your life, just going out and relaxing and just chilling out. This follows along with that theory, Reboot. Now you hit the pause on your life, now you're rebooting again and getting back to a normal life.
So I think that's fun. So you kind of got the, you know, pause, play, reboot, refresh, restart. You got a lot of technology names you could play with, reloaded. Right. So it has nothing to do with rebooting the line.
Absolutely
it's just
not, no.
Playing with the technology name.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And I think that's pretty clear for most people, but I think it's good to know
and I truly feel like that. You go out camping, it reboots your life.
Oh yeah, usually when you come out to places like this, when you go home, it almost feels like you've been renewed.
And you can handle the stress of everyday life.
Super excited about this, Maynard. I feel like we've been talking about it for like a year. Essentially, it was something just to compete. There's not a lot of things in the market in the current Pause, the 21.4, the 20.3.
Right.
Those are really, they're at the top of the level, and there's not really not too many options out besides those.
Right.
But there's a lot of options in this area,
right.
But a lot of them aren't made in America, proudly.
Right.
With MORRITE suspension.
MORRITE frame, huck riveted frame.
Built by Pause, you know, without any compromise with
Still
quality.
The same premium construction that we use on the Pause. We just use different types of material.
Well, I'm super excited. We've been down here now this is our second day. And we've been testing these units to the max. Been putting them through some mud, some river crossings, some mountain tops, some plateaus, some cliffs. We went down some pretty crazy obstacles, right?
Some departure angles, and they passed with flying colors.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't even get close to anything in the back hitting. The clearance on this is crazy. And this right now is just a little bit higher than ride height. So what kind of suspension do we got on the Reboot?
We still offer as an option the same suspension that we have on the Pause, the air ride suspension with that 12 inches of travel. So.
Okay, that's pretty incredible, because that's, I mean, the only thing that could possibly compete as far as travel goes is the Brooder. And this is American made, which is pretty cool. Blisting shocks, airbags. So does the Reboot have all the options to just pull into camp in auto level?
The Reboot does not have that option on the Garmin.
Okay.
It doesn't auto level, but you're still able to level the unit fairly easily. It still has the airbag, same as the regular Pause does.
By a push of a button, right?
Yeah, so you can level from side to side. And it has your manual stabilizer jacks that you can take down. So it's not hard at all to level the unit. It's just not automatically.
Yeah, no. So these are some of the things people have been asking. They say, hey, let's get a Pause, let's get a trailer made in America that's just in a better price range for a lot of people. And that's essentially what you've accomplished with the Pause. Not necessarily by cutting corners at all. Not, I shouldn't even say necessarily. You haven't cut corners.
Well, we offer a little bit more options than we do on a normal pause. Your pauses are pretty much, you get what you get. You know, there's not a lot of options.
Yeah.
Whereas the Reboot, we have a larger variety of options.
Yeah, and I think that was really cool. So it's kind of the a la carte. So you can get the exact same suspension that you would get standard on a pause.
Right.
And that's definitely something that would get that price, drive the price up. But now the Reboot is offering another suspension. Do you want to talk a little bit about that suspension?
So it's another suspension that Morite developed for me. It's a rubber shear spring suspension. So it's basically, it does the same concept as what a coilover suspension would do. So it still has 5 inches of travel, but it's not controlled by airbags.
Okay.
So, but if you're going over rocks and stuff like that, you still have 5 inches of movement. It has a shock on it, and it's independent suspension.
Yeah.
So there's no axle, so you still have that ground clearance.
Tons and tons of ground clearance. I've seen it. It's been out here. You can see it definitely articulating.
Yeah.
It definitely doesn't articulate as much as this.
Yes.
This thing is definitely the top of the line.
Right.
But as far as, you know, having that A-arm, that suspension, that amount of clearance.
Still gives you a really nice ride when you're going down the trails and stuff.
Yeah,
So it doesn't beat your trailer all.
And I mean, the benefit is with this type of suspension is going to be, it's all mechanical. You're not going to have any technology in it. So it's
very little that can go wrong with it.
Yeah, little that can go wrong with it. And a lot of times people, that's what they prefer when they're off-roading. They don't want fancy things necessarily. But then you do have the person that's like, no, I want, Garmin is pretty reliable company. You use them in yachts and airplanes.
And we still have Garmin on this unit. It just doesn't control as many things as it does on the pause unit.
Yeah.
So we put a different version of the Garmin into our unit.
Okay.
It doesn't have as much control built into it as what the normal pause does.
It's a little bit more simple. There's not as many, you know, features as you would get on,
like the auto level and so on.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So you know, a lot of people have been asking me, and hopefully this is a good analogy. I tell people, you know, Toyota and Lexus, they're essentially made by the same manufacturer, but everybody knows a Lexus is going to have more bells and whistles, and that's essentially what the 20.3, 21.4, 16.4,
all those are, yeah.
The Reboot is going to be a premium, great off-roader.
But one thing that I think is important to notice, though, is it's still a seamless construction. So all our walls, our ceiling, and all that, you're not seeing any seams anywhere at all. So you don't have to worry about panels popping or trim popping loose or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's all one piece.
Yeah, and that's really cool. So from end to end on the inside, I mean, generally some RVs are going to have a one-piece fiberglass on the outside, but this has a one-piece interior fiberglass,
as well as the roof,
and the roof, and the
top and bottom. They're all laminated together.
Okay, yeah, and then also,
and it's all composite. There's no wood in the walls at all either.
Yeah.
So the fiberglass has an Asdale backer behind it. Hopefully there will never be a leak, but if there were a leak, it still wouldn't have any rot or mildew or anything like that because you don't have any wood
inside the walls.
Inside the walls itself.
I think that's really important to point out because a lot of people have been a huge fan of the composite walls from the Pause, right? And
so this is still a composite wall, but it is laminated together instead of thermally bonded together.
Yeah, so it's definitely a different process.
Just a different technology.
Yeah.
But you still have a very strong wall.
Yeah.
And it's all one piece.
Yeah. Now it does have an aluminum skeleton in it, correct?
It does, correct.
And then it has insulation
between the studs. But one thing that this is versus a regular laminated wall, it has a layer of styrofoam over the top of all the aluminum studs and stuff, so you won't see that thermal breakage, you know, in the mornings when you get frost or anything like that.
That's really cool.
And you look at a normal laminated unit, you see where all the studs are.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just really cool. It blows my mind that when I've been talking with Maynard, I said, you know, there's a lot of trailers on the market that are off-road trailers designed for the off-road, and they're in that $60,000 to $80,000, $90,000 price range. I said it would be really cool to get that price, but made in America, but also still good quality and innovative. Though you might be doing laminated or fiberglass walls, you're not doing it like everybody else. Right.
Still different technology.
Yeah, you're still using some of the most innovative trims. Now, talk about the Exoskeleton trim that you got right here. This stuff. What is this exactly?
That's aluminum.
Okay, so this is an aluminum. Now, does this go all the way through the trailer?
It doesn't. It just sits on the outside.
Okay.
So all our corners have a turnabout tape on it.
Okay.
So there's zero chance of leakage anywhere that can go, because the turnabout tape covers everything before our extrusion is put on.
I think that's really cool to point out, because to not have the extrusions going all the way through is a big deal, because you don't ever
have to worry about that
thermal bridging or anything like
yeah.
that. That's very cool. Now, what do we got for the frame? Have we gone to a good old steel and powder coated?
Still the same frame you love on a Pause. It's the aluminum frame that's huck riveted together.
Okay,
so we don't have to worry about any wells breaking or anything like that. So
that's incredible.
We still have the huck rivets to hold everything together. So
and you still see that awesome suspension. You still see the more right step. So a lot of the same things that we've been seeing on all the Pauses you're still doing here. Now, tell us about some of the options, because I know as a base model, you're optioning much smaller battery and solar array. If you go totally base, you can have 200 watts on the roof, a 270 amp hour. Battleborn, is it still?
Battleborn.
So we haven't gone to AGMs or gels or anything
lithium
like
Battleborn batteries.
So you're still doing lithium.
The base model has the exact same thing as what your Pause does.
Okay.
So we didn't skimp on any of that. You still have your 3,000 watt inverter.
Well, see, I was thinking
so you're still able to run your AC, your microwave, and everything like that off grid.
So everything's wired into the air conditioning and everything. We've sold a lot of the imports like Black Series and in the past, and they would use, you know, like Renogy's or Ames or Co-Supers. They were no-name brand inverters. And I was thinking, well, if you're gonna, when I was talking to you, like, how are you gonna make it cheaper? I was thinking you were gonna, you know, get cheaper inverters or cheaper solar.
I feel like those are things that you can't skimp on at all, because the serious off-roader, he wants to get away from the campgrounds, and the main thing he wants to use is his solar, his power. You know, they don't want to give up anything. They still want to have those conveniences. So you still got to have the best of the best, so they're able to do all that stuff.
I appreciate it, and that's something that I think is really important for the public to know, that even though we have you have been able to now create a trailer and bring it to market that's much more affordable and much more comparable to other trailers in the market of this style, but the difference is you're still putting in premium components in it. You haven't actually dumbed down.
The main things are, you can't skimp on the main things.
Yeah,
you got to have those.
I really appreciate that. Of course, you do have options, right? So like this unit that we're sitting behind us, this is it a 4 Seasons?
It's 4 Seasons. So it has all the Truma appliances, has a Truma variant heat in it. So you have heat ducted down into the underbelly, so all your tanks will have heat on them. They all have the 12-volt heating pads on it, whether it's an upgrade or the base model. So that didn't change. It's just as far as ducting heat into the underbelly.
So can you show us the appliances on the other side, Maynard?
So this still has the Truma tankless water heater in it, and same as what the Pause currently does.
Yeah.
And what's so cool about this is you're never going to run out of hot water. It keeps recirculating your hot water, so you're not going to be wasting your water when you go into the shower. You know, you lather yourself up, rinse yourself off, shut it off. You know, the hot water is continuously recirculating. Yeah. So you constantly have hot water, so you're not wasting any of your hot water.
Yeah. So I recently did a video on this, kind of explaining to people, because a lot of people think, oh, on demand is instant hot water, but it's not. On demand is, it doesn't have a tank, and when you turn it on and it senses that it's on, it will turn on, but you can waste a lot of water while you're waiting for it.
Whatever you have from the water heater to your faucet, that would be cold. But as soon as you turn your faucet on, this instantly kicks on, and within a matter of a couple seconds, your water is hot.
Yeah, that's because this has a built-in circulating pump, and you've ran water lines all the way to the pits around by the spigots.
So the Truma, you don't have to take the water from the faucet to here out. That is hot. Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
On our base model, it would not be.
Yeah. In future videos, you'll be able to see the base model. Right now, we're looking at this is the fully loaded model with the Truma instant on demand. The other one is an on demand, but it's not instant and it's not Truma. It's a Suburban, right?
Suburban one, correct.
Which is still a great.
Suburban is a great product.
Yeah.
Absolutely 100% great.
They've been around for years in the U.S. supplying. I mean, I know we've had trailers that use the Suburban. Now, I mean, if you really want to get down and nitpicky, Truma is really known for being the best, the top of the line.
Right.
And the price reflects that. But if you wanted to say, hey, I want the more right suspension, but I don't, you know, I don't care about
But
this.
the Truma, then yeah.
You could cut that down and have a little bit cost savings,
So you
right?
can kind of build the unit however you want to get to the price point where it's affordable for you.
Oh, that's really cool. So what do we got for the furnace? And this is the upgraded furnace, right?
This here, yeah, has a Truma variant heat in it, which is it's just a small exhaust here coming out of it.
Okay.
But then it has ductwork piped throughout the unit.
Yeah.
So with the Truma, you have ductwork going into your bathroom, to your living area, to your bedroom, down into your tanks. Now in their base model, we have the Suburban blow-through furnace, so that is just spitting heat out the front.
Okay. And you kind of, it warms the whole cabin after a while,
Yeah.
right? This one definitely.
It actually is very efficient. I mean, last night it was chilly when we got in there, and no time flat. It was about too hot in there.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So it doesn't take long at all.
The thing that I love about the Truma is so quiet. You can barely hear it when it's on at night. It's just a whisper. And it really, like, because it was all ducted throughout, you could feel that distribution.
Your heat is a little bit more evenly.
Yeah, for sure. That's incredible. And we still have the good old solar ports. Now, once again, this is an option, and I really appreciate how there's different stages of solar. You can have that 200, and then, or you can go all the way up to 900 or 1400. Is that right?
Right.
That's what the briefcase
800
is.
with 600 on the side, yeah.
Yeah. So very, very good. And 600 on the roof, 800 on the roof with
800 is you're maxed out on the roof.
on the roof
That's
with an
almost
additional briefcase of 600 watts of panels.
200-300 a piece, yeah.
Yeah, so you have a total of 1400 watts, which is, I don't know of any trailer on the market right now. If you go in and say, give me the max solar, you get 1400 watts.
Right.
That's pretty incredible. And still, we're putting the ladder so you can get up there?
We couldn't give the ladder up.
Yeah. Well, you gotta have access to your roof. It makes sense. You can clean the panels. You can check everything. Now, you were talking earlier a little bit about the roof.
We tried to design it with a minimal amount of extrusions going through the roof up top, just so there's very little chance of leaks of anywhere if anything isn't properly sealed.
Now, are the solar panels all elevated on
They
the
are.
rack?
They're all like 1.5 inches off the roof.
So they're attached to the actual roof rack.
They're attached to the roof rack, and there's bars going across where the solar panels are attached to
But
that.
that's also in the current pauses as
Current
well,
pauses are exactly like that.
Yeah, some people have asked if that's what you guys do, and it is. So I think that's very, very good. Can we see what's behind this door?
I think this is...
Oh, just a big bin, nothing. But that is a massive bin, as you can see. This is passed through all the way through. It's incredible how much storage is in there. Okay, there's some other exciting stuff, Maynard, and as you can see, we just got somebody else into the video. This is Daryl from MoreRide, and we wanted him to talk a little bit about, well, you're introducing something new, and it's on the Reboot, but is it going to be on anything else?
The option will be available across the board on any product that we produce, yes.
Okay, awesome. So, and what is this?
So talk to him, Maynard. Tell him what was the challenge. What was the one thing about the coupler you didn't like?
Well, it's a full articulating coupler that the Overland market demands from us.
Which means?
You have movement 3 different ways.
Yeah, so you have full articulation in this front coupler. The one we originally came out with was the side-to-side, but Shane and Maynard both wanted to challenge MoreRide. Maynard came early and said, you know, I'd like to have a full articulation, which now introduced the, I don't know, knuckle, if you will.
The up and down, right?
Up and down, side to side. And then he wasn't satisfied with just, some of the clevis applications. He said, I want it to be able to go on to a 5/16 ball. And so, yeah.
So that's what's cool. Like most articulating hitch, you have to have a different type of receiver for your truck.
Right.
So this goes on a 2 5/16 ball, so the average consumer has that.
Right.
Well, I mean, this is a perfect example and case right here. Look, my hitch, I have a 3 hitch. I have my 2 5/16. I have my 2.5, 2-inch. And so if I have a little cargo trailer that I want to take, do my lawn and take my weeds or my bushes to the dump, I can throw that on. If I have a boat, I can flip it over, throw my boat on. If I have a pause, I can throw it on there and go.
Absolutely, you're good to go. And so it's like anything else that we attempt to do at MoreRide. We don't take challenges lightly. We may even be guilty of over-engineering. We don't think so. We want to bring the very best products, safest products to our customers and our dealer base. Our customers, Maynard's customer being Shane, ROA. And so, yeah, it took us a little while to get it done, but we've got an incredible team of engineers that worked on this project. And again, we didn't take it lightly because we don't take safety lightly.
Well, that's one thing I appreciate about MORRITE. They don't release a product to the market like overnight.
You sometimes want it.
I want it overnight, but they don't give it to me.
Yeah, because they go out and just test it like crazy,
They test
right?
it.
Yeah,
They test it. And they test it. And they test it to the extremes.
Well,
So-
and we did a video a while ago, and that video has almost gone viral. Like, we got tens of thousands of views, and it was kind of about this one. It was sitting on that table,
Right.
and that product looked like a finished product.
Right.
This looks way nicer.
Yeah. Thank
I'm
you.
like, this is the actual finished product, and it
Yeah.
even turned out nicer than what that
Yeah.
thing was.
Yeah.
And I thought that thing was amazing.
You know, we brought that out. It was funny. We brought that out kind of a teaser, and an appeaser. How's that? Because we had to appease Maynard because he's like, look, my customers really are beginning to doubt, are you guys really headed down the path? And so we had to appease him and then just kind of tease the market. You know, here's roughly what it is, but we're going to improve on it there. We weren't satisfied with it. We just kept on grinding it out.
And it's turned out really good, and
you.
it gives you that full articulation. And you know, it's so funny. I really was a huge fan. I'm still a fan. I've used Cruise Master a bunch. I think it's a great product. But you know, I was talking with Maynard when I saw that first one, and he was like, "Yeah, but Shane, what about like an equalizer hitch, or what about sway bars, or what about the chains?" And I just thought, well, yeah, you can like modify or retrofit it and weld a tab and this and that and that. And he's like, yeah, but with this, you can just go and buy it and just plug it in.
No doubt.
And I was like, it's hard to argue
Yeah.
the ability, you know, for the consumer, the end consumer, to make it more convenient and just easy, right? The ease of use and the ability just to go and
Yep.
not
Yeah.
have to deal with any weird modifications to a hitch.
Right, right. Yeah, it's user friendly. It does what it's supposed to do. I think we've proved it out here time and time today. I think we've got some other videos, other shots of it in action. And I mean, our team here, I think I can speak freely for the team, is everybody's here is real impressed with how it's performed. And I know the guys back at MORRITE, when we share the videos and the stills that the guys have taken here, yeah, they're going to be proud of what they've built, and MORRITE as a company proud to present it to our customer base. So,
Well, it's the motto, above, beyond, always.
above, beyond, always.
Yeah, that's
That's
pretty
it.
cool. There you
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah.
And coming on all pauses moving forward as an option.
Right. This coupler you can't find this anywhere in the
I
world.
dare you to find one.
And that air suspension you can't find anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
That rubber shear spring suspension you can't find anywhere in the world.
Exactly.
It's not just America, it's the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So-
I don't know how many times that you know, people are saying, listen, with the wherewithal that you have in the United States, you know, financial resources, engineering resources, and so on and so forth. You know, why can't we build in the U.S. what people seem to be building in Australia, and not only do it comparable, but to even do it better? And so that was the challenge that was laid out to again to Maynard. That was what he wanted to prove that we could. People have been asking for it. They've been demanding it. I think we've delivered on all points.
Oh yeah,
So-
absolutely. This frame, aluminum frame, is above and beyond anything I've seen in the off-road world. Unique patent coupler that doesn't exist anywhere in the world.
Yep.
You know, it's just really cool that it makes more sense for the American market, and the suspension is really
Bar none.
bar none. Like it has more travel than anything, and we know that because we've measured almost everything.
Yeah, we're not just talking. We're showing it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at this dirt.
Yeah,
We didn't just throw that.
That's
up
real
there.
stuff.
That's real stuff.
Yeah, but what's so awesome about that air
see that
We
earlier?
didn't see that. Really.
that air suspension too? I mean, all the trails we went today,
Yeah.
you go inside the camper and everything's still in its place.
Oh yeah,
It just has that air
except for the
cushion.
toilet paper.
Except for the toilet paper.
Yeah.
Which
That might be the
now
next
that we have time,
MORRITE
yeah,
invention
that's
that
what I
they
was
have.
gonna say. Now that we got the coupler done,
We can work on the
we're
more
gonna work
important.
on the
toilet paper holder?
the non-rollback Pause ROA exclusive
Toilet paper protector.
protector.
Yeah.
Hey.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
have it. The all new Pause.
Yeah.
It's just really cool,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
so impressed, and
Yeah.
it's just I feel grateful that I'm a part of it with you and you guys, and so
Likewise.
much. So
I feel grateful that I'm a part of it with you guys. You guys have been awesome partners with me.
well, I see something. I feel like the one skill in life that I have is seeing good stuff into the future, right?
Yeah.
I can see a great opportunity when it's in front of me, and I can see something that's like gonna be what I think is one of the best things out there. So, and I always like to be a part of the best things out there.
And you know, that's a good point. I mean, now that we've got what you see right here, I mean, whether it's Pause or MORRIDE or ROA, we're not just going to sit on our laurels and say, well, okay, we've done it, and now we're going to push forward till we get,
Oh,
you know,
we got a
yeah.
couple more exciting projects in the works.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
We never
Cool
stop
stuff here.
filming.
Cool stuff yet to come.
Yeah. Hey, it's a relentless pursuit of excellence and innovation between all of us, right?
Agreed.
So,
I
Agreed.
mean, it's my goal to keep the MORRIDE engineers busy so they can't develop anything for anybody else.
He says that all the time, and you know what? I think they're believing him.
there you have it. Well, thank you, Maynard. This has been really cool, and this was a short video too, right?
Right.
We're not going into all the crazy in-depth, not even going inside. Sorry, I know a lot of people are going to want to see the inside, but we'll get there soon, right?
Right.
We'll have the full-on reveal here in a little bit, but we wanted just to get this out as fast as possible. We've been out testing it, using it, running it through its paces, and I'm super excited about this, Maynard. I think
am
it's just
too.
been so great.
It's been a fun project, an
Yeah.
awesome project to work together.
Yeah, and I think it's just, I feel like if we're always collaborating, you know, you and I don't just collaborate, but we collaborate with the market, I feel like, and it's just the market's been asking for something like this.
And we delivered.
I know. Thank you very much, and thanks for coming on this adventure with me and with the guys, and we'll keep on
It's been awesome.
on going at it, right?
Right. On to the next thing.
On to the next thing. If you guys have any questions, let us know. If you want to see something specific, you want to understand more about the reboot and all the Pause lineup, go down below. There's a link, and we'll give you more information. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.